We are at game time.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Dr. Archie, what's happening?
Not much. Well, a lot,
A lot.
actually.
A lot, right? Yeah,
There's
for
a
sure.
lot. There's a lot going on.
For sure. For those of you that are listening, thank you for tuning in to the Jiu-Jitsu podcast. This is Vince Pacaleb, your host. I am here with Dr. Archie Bayacal, currently at his new office, Groundwork Chiropractic in Garden Grove, California. What is this? That's 22405 and Bolsa Chica? Is that what that is?
22405. Yeah.
I love it.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, congrats on the space. Looks like it's coming together.
It is. There's a lot of still a lot of more work to be done, but yeah, I'm happy where we're at right now, especially when we were talking about last year or when we started this podcast where I thought I would be.
Oh
yeah, man. We're in a good spot right now.
Yeah. What percentage of completion would you say the space is right now?
90%.
90%. So yeah. What are you waiting for? Just the equipment back here?
Yeah, we got some X-ray equipment to be installed. That's actually going to be this week, so I'm excited for that. And then
nice. Is it actual install?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there'll be for some reason the equipment's going to be shipped from many different areas of the country, so they're just putting them all together in California.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. So then that gets installed. And then what? What's the plan from there?
After installation, then I'll be finishing up my how do you say, my contract with my current employer.
Agreement.
My agreement with him.
Sure, you gotta fulfill your obligations.
Complete that, and then once that's done, then I'll fully be here at the office.
Nice. So when we had last spoke, man, it's been 5 weeks, 6 weeks since we did an episode together?
Yeah, I think it feels longer than that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So during that time, you did your first couple adjustments.
Right.
And right now, I mean, it looks like your office is set up to take clients.
Yeah.
Are you like working clientele into there? Or
yeah,
like
it's a limited, on a limited basis right now, depending on the situation of the client as well. I make sure I have a strong consultation with them, letting them understand that, I'm not fully ready yet. But if you have a pretty good history and nothing that causes any red flags for me to adjust them, then we can move forward with them. I actually just took a new client this week or
nice.
This past week. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. In the fitness business, they would do a pre-sale.
Yeah.
So it's like founding members, special founding member rates. I had some friends of mine that work with the boiling crab. You familiar with the boiling crab?
Yeah.
Right. So the boiling crab, or the restaurants, right? They do a friends and family soft opening.
Yeah.
So they opened a boiling crab in Torrance. So anyways, they invited me out. I didn't get a chance to be able to go hang out with them, but just a little bit of a test run to get the team and make sure that everybody's kind of working together cohesively. So yeah, I think anytime you have an opportunity to get some initial reps out and get some marketing before it's fully off the ground, I think it's gonna be a big piece for you for sure.
Yeah, that was basically the main idea, right? Usually I had this maybe I should just wait till I have everything in. I'm like, no, let's start doing this. Let's start getting the systems going, because last time we were talking about patient experience. I just noticed some things about there was not a changing room for someone to change in last time.
For sure.
Now we closed that off. We got that. It was such a good process with this next time around, or the patients that I've been seeing recently. Right. So it's been definitely a better experience for myself and the clients as well. So,
nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to try to make it better each time. I'm trying to elevate the patient experience each time.
Yeah. And again, I think it's just like anything else, right? It's iteration. The process just gets better one rep at a time, right? It's literally like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Right? There's hey, you have the concept and theory until you actually put into live application where you figure out what went right, what didn't go right.
Of course. Yeah. I was telling my wife actually yesterday, like, I want to put like a little TV just hung up here, just have something going on for just in the background. It could be informational. It could be whatever. I could probably have jiu-jitsu matches playing in the background.
For sure.
Just immerse the experience, with everything in this office, right? Like I don't want any downtime for anyone that comes in. Like, even if there's someone waiting, like I want them to do something, right? If they want to, take a look at what's on the TV. Is it informational? Let's strike conversations on, what you saw on the TV type thing. And, right. Just anything. Even, being here, this is like one of the reasons why I chose this place. Is just, there's a coffee shop right next door. Right. So it's like, hey, if it might be a little bit, if they have to wait or something, they can check out the coffee shop, walk around a little bit. There's a lot of little small businesses around the area as well.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that, you look for when you're placing a business, right, is, especially when you're securing like the actual real estate, is co-tenants, right? And hey, who are going to be your neighbors, and is there ways to be able to collaborate? I think what's interesting is just kind of walking down the hallway here. You got what seems some type of nail, eyelash, that type of health and beauty. Plus, you got the coffee shop and some food places around here. Then next door, what is that place that's
next door? It's very interesting niche. It's called Myral Studio, focusing on like soft tissue and cryotherapy.
Sure.
And there's a lot going on in next door, like infrared therapy as well.
Right.
So very nice tenants too. Met them. His name is Max. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting about that is like all of these places all have great collaboration, right? Whether you're, the people that do the brows or the nails, or I think down there's a little more like I don't know if it's a salon or whatnot. Even if you do some services for them, just because they're going to be the ones that are dealing with all the patients and being able to talk about their experience with you, I think that'll all be critical, right? Say there's a lot of people that are servicing the their clients and people that are actually here that are part of the business. Like I'd be trying to find a way to collaborate with them for sure.
Absolutely. If you haven't seen back here, like if you go further back, there's so many other businesses. There's a Muay Thai gym right here, and then there's a CrossFit gym right on the other side of it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, there's a lot of businesses around here. Guys at the Muay Thai place are pretty cool. Took some of their classes. Pretty dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the name of the Muay Thai place?
Lineage Muay Thai.
Lineage Muay Thai. Shout out to Lineage. Cool, man. So a couple of things. So, I've known you, 12, 13 years, something like that.
Yeah.
I've had a chiropractor, or I've gone through chiropractic services. But anyways, I thought what would be a good conversation to just kind of land on is, so generally when I think of a chiropractor or me going through a chiropractor, is I did it because I'd get headaches and they did some adjustments, cracked my back, right? Is what I kind of refer to as. I'm sure there's a lot more scientific rationale when it comes to that. So like, what is chiropractic?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny. So many people know about it now since the TikTok and the reels going on out there. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with getting exposure that way, but that it's sending the wrong message at the same time. It's like a double-edged sword right there. So, when I explain chiropractic to our clients in the consultation, we mainly focus on the spine and nervous system.
Okay.
So when your spine is misaligned, there are nerves that are traveling through your spine. So when there's a misalignment there, that causes tension on that nerve. And your nerves are responsible for everything in the body, depending on where they're located, right? If it's in the upper cervical, it's controlling your eyes, your brain, your eye movement, your mouth, your jaw, everything, muscles, organs. Your nervous system is responsible for everything, but more importantly, it's responsible for healing, right? So that is, in a nutshell, how I like to describe it, is that we're focusing on how your structure is aligned, and we're looking for those areas of nerve tension. Right.
So what causes misalignment in the spine?
Many cases. I mean, one of the what I mainly see is usually it's degeneration or something that their hobbies or their habits lead to. Right. It's more the bone is degenerating because of things that we do like jiu-jitsu. We're always in this neck flexion, or sometimes their posture is terrible. So what happens when you have a terrible posture, it 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 increases the degeneration process. That happens as we get older, but the more you're in misalignment, that increases that degeneration to happen in your bones. So when that degeneration happens, it puts less disc space, which compresses the nerves. Other factors can be how our posture, the way we sit for long periods of time, trauma. There's traumatic injuries that can happen. And then there's also something that not a lot of people talk about, but also some of the food we eat, right? That puts stress on the body. And then ultimately what happens, that causes you to be in these unusual movements or unusual patterns and positions that you're just causing bad posture for your body. So all of those are a lot of factors. In chiropractic school, they call it it can be chemical, it can be physical, and trauma. Something like that. I can't remember, but
I know what you mean.
But there's just those three main factors that happens that causes a misalignment. So, yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be like some type of impact.
It can be.
I mean,
not all the time, right? Yeah. Not necessarily. Not all the time.
So my first experience with a chiropractor, it was years ago, and it was because I'd get these headaches, and what we figured out was it was because of my work. Right, I was in the mortgage industry. I was doing a lot of sales, so I would sometimes have my headset, and sometimes I would have like the actual like phone itself. Yep. And if I was putting it onto my shoulder while I was working and I was trying to get things done, just that kind of frequent, right, my ear to my shoulder, holding the telephone while I was doing other stuff, is what what we started to associate that. And again, series of adjustments, and felt fine. I was more aware of it, and then I just kind of never went back. And there's been a couple times I had like some sciatic nerve stuff when I was doing CrossFit, and I saw some chiropractor do some adjustment, type thing.
Did you get some relief after that?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So like what happens in the body? I know that I would be in these like weird positions. I'd hear, pop. I hear some loud pops and, some other things. What I also noticed too is anytime I got adjusted, I always slept better that night. It was like the next morning where I woke up and I'm like, dang.
It's funny you mentioned that, because that's usually it's when you feel like you slept the best, it's because your nervous system was under a lot of stress. And it can be just from that one joint that had a lot of nerve tension, right? Your nerves travel through these joints. So what happens in an adjustment, that pop you hear, it's the nitrogen that's being released from the joint. It's within all the joints. So when you hear that, that's that cavitation. Not all, it doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
And that's what everyone's always looking for, is that cavitation, that pop. Because there's just been that everyone's seeing on Instagram and YouTube, but you don't necessarily need to hear that pop all the time. But
so people associate that pop with it working,
right?
But that necessarily doesn't have to happen.
Nope.
Got it.
It does not need to happen. The way that we thoroughly assess that is obviously checking the position of what we're adjusting, right? And it needs to be in that structural alignment that we're looking for. So that's basically how we assess you afterwards. And it's what you need to do is, or what chiropractors should be doing, is having as many objective measures as possible, right? You'll probably notice that they'll check your leg length, right? That's what we're looking for, is like balance on how you are structurally balanced. But there's also the nervous system side of things, right? what I personally do is put you through specific stress points, stress tests, and I'm looking for a neurological response in the body. And when I get these positive or negative responses, those tell me whether or not you need or don't need the adjustment. So it can be that's how I objectively measure each individual. It should be different for each individual. It shouldn't be the same. You know, you see people getting adjusted on both sides, everywhere, their foot, everywhere in their body. What could happen in there is that your body can be overstimulated from all those adjustments. And then they could be feeling worse than they came in, right? So that's what I commonly see, maybe because everyone's so fixated or they're so educated on chiropractic through the Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah. What's interesting that you talk about that, you know, using objective measures. I remember when I got adjusted for that sciatic issue I was having, they had me lay face down. They did a whatever measurement on my leg, and they're like, "Oh, you know, your right leg is shorter than your left leg.
Right.
That's probably what is causing that." Wow, that's very, very interesting. And in that case, they associated it with me having a wallet in my back pocket.
Yeah.
And because I drive a lot and I sit a lot, it's one of those things where my hips would be offset because I had I used to have a wallet in my back pocket. Ever since then, I stopped doing that. Right.
Yeah.
But again, I was like, man, that's super fascinating. Of just,
it could be that, or it could be just, you know, what I always see is like a lot of pelvic distortion. It could be related to you having a wallet, how these habits, right? These habits that you've created over the years. Right. It's not always a trauma. It could be just the way you sleep. Do you sleep on your back? Do you sleep on your stomach? You know, those positional areas that you're sleeping, remember, you're laying that long of a time in that position. Yeah. And you do that for however many years in your life. Right.
Could chiropractic fix snoring?
I can't clinically say it's gonna directly cure snoring, but I've had experiences actually personally from someone that he was a good friend of mine. I adjusted him and his wife called and said, whatever you did, it made him stop snoring.
Wow. Well, that's again, it's fascinating because you're talking about like the jaw popping, because I've had like this jaw popping thing. And I'm going to go see my dentist because my primary care deferred to my dentist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what that is. So misalignment could impact my jaw popping.
Yeah. Yeah. That, your jaw can get assessed by a chiropractor because, anywhere there's a joint, right? Anywhere your nervous system is controlling anything, your chiropractor can assess it, and do what's needed to, you know, get that properly aligned. Right. And for your case, what I commonly see with people with jaw problems, it's not really at the jaw, it's the neck, because your nerves are innervated through from the neck, travels all throughout the face. So think of the nerves controlling all the muscles around your neck, around your face.
Right.
That's controlling your jaw, how you chew, how you're eating as well. So, yeah.
So, like, when would somebody know they need a chiropractor?
That's, you know, I've never asked, no one has ever asked me that question. I think personally, get checked, like by your local chiropractor. Right. You won't know what's wrong with you until you actually go through the examination process. Right. It's like, you won't know about high blood pressure right away, right? Until you get tested, right? Sometimes people will feel fine, right? And then they come in and like, I have a high blood pressure. It's kind of like that silent disease.
Right.
So what I wanted to mention is that you can be in these misalignments, these bad postures. The body is so good at adapting to things. Like people can adapt with their head carriage so far forward, because the body is adapting well, right? But I guarantee there's probably days where they're just feeling in so much discomfort that it just comes and goes. And it's mainly because of that head carriage.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, what's interesting, like as you're talking, we shot that episode with Rob last week, and there was an angle that had me. I'm like, dude, my posture is jacked up, dude. Seriously, like literally, like as I'm talking to Rob, and I saw the video, I'm like, man, it just looks like I'm stuck behind a computer, or I'm in this like open guard sitting
Right.
position. That's what it looks like. Either that, or I'm behind a computer.
Yeah.
Like doing my thing, but I'm just naturally talking to Rob. I'm like, man, my posture is messed up.
It's the habits, right? It's that those are patterns that your body has created. And it's just naturally doing that now.
Yeah.
Right. And
the two things I do: stuck behind a computer, or do jiu-jitsu.
Do you get back discomfort sometimes?
No. No. I mean, I get like neck stuff, and my shoulders. Anytime I can open up my shoulders, it always feels a lot better. But yeah, so again, it was literally like one of those things when I was looking at the video. You're always critical to yourself. I'm like, dang, dude, my posture is messed up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, part of it, I'm like, man, I'd probably stand a lot taller if I I'd feel a lot more confident. I'd feel a lot more taller just because when my shoulders are pulled back, I'd feel taller. But yeah, that's wild.
That's funny how you were mentioning earlier about how like you get the best sleep after getting an adjustment.
Yeah,
it's I'm not surprised. I hear that a lot with the clients that I'm currently working with.
Yeah.
Like they get their first adjustment and they tell me the next visit, like for some reason I needed to go to sleep as soon as I got home. It's because wherever I adjusted, that nerve was under tension. It's causing like a whole disruption to their whole system.
Yeah.
Just under complete tension. And they could be walking around with that for a long time too.
Yeah, not even knowing.
Yeah. Right. And they're like, oh, I'll just deal with it because it's there. Then they'll just start popping whatever they can to kind of mitigate it, mask it, but then it's still there.
Yeah.
Right. You keep on continuing that process for a long time. You get adjusted and boom, that just relieves everything.
Right.
Right. So I'm not surprised if you felt that.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So from a chiropractor, is having a chiropractor like some people would say, hey, I'm going to go, and you mentioned cryotherapy, right? So, hey, I'm going to go do my cryo once a week. I'm going to go see my masseuse once a month.
Right.
I see my personal trainer once a week, right? I pick up food from my meal prep, every other week. Is that how like a chiropractor works? Or ideally, is that how a chiropractor should be looked at? Or is it just, kind of like a doctor? Man,
you only need this.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good. I'm going to go to urgent care.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like in an ideal world, how should somebody approach that?
Well, I think they all supplement each other, right? It's not just only chiropractic, right? We mainly focus structurally the spine and your nervous system. Now, there's soft tissue, right? Like what you're saying is cryotherapy, right? That's going to help, also calm. I mean, I know there's a study that shows it calms the nervous system, putting your nervous system in that much stress, and then the effects after will calm it down. So it's all supplemental, right? Yeah. I think it works all together. Getting massages, I get massages, right? Soft tissue work. Sometimes it's just not a structural alignment that you need. You just need some soft tissue work, right? So,
are you familiar with what's it called? Fascia stretch therapy, FST.
Yeah,
is that like complementary?
Absolutely.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not completely against that. Some chiropractors may just say, hey, all you need is chiropractic and the body will heal itself, right? I think if you can, manipulate or kind of work on your muscles, soft tissues more, go for it, because that's what I personally do. And I feel great. Like I just don't do chiropractic care. Like I'll get, like I said, massages, I'll do some stretching, get some personal training, get some diet, right? That's all going to be working collectively together for your wellness.
Yeah. It's interesting. I saw that rock blade stuff.
Yeah.
And my shoulder and my neck, I have somebody I go to that anytime I do it, super painful.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I just need to do it more often. Right. Because every time I'm done doing it, like it's always one of those things where it feels, tons better, but just actually, having that soft tissue work, having that soft tissue work or having that, what would you call that? When somebody uses an instrument like that, rock blade on the tissues.
It's funny. My wife is going to be the one doing the soft tissue work.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
They're instrument assisted.
Yeah, instrument. They call it. I think you're on. I completely forgot what it's called, but instrument. I forget it. If she was here, she would help me out.
Yeah, jump in the comments. Jump in the comments.
But yeah, I mean, yes, I mean those are all supplemental, right? Chiropractic can have its limitations.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe the body just needs a little bit more than just a structural alignment.
So, like, what would be a time when somebody should not be getting chiropractic?
Definitely if they have some ligament instability in their spine. That's usually the case with someone who cracks their own neck a lot, or if they've been in a whiplash injury, a car accident. Those are some red flags, definitely.
But how would you know that, though?
That's where the process of being, you being as a provider and asking these questions and having a thorough examination on your patient, right? Some chiropractors just will go in there and start adjusting, and there has been cases that led to a stroke.
Wow.
Because they hit the vessel and through that adjustment. So it's at the end of the day, it's being specific as possible, right? You have to know where the problems are at, right? Yeah. If you don't take a thorough analysis, thorough examination, you can hurt someone. Yeah.
Didn't Kendall Roosing have an incident?
Yeah, she did. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know it was somewhere in the lumbar, and things like that, right?
Man, that's wild. So let's talk about when somebody does, right? So how does it work? Does it work like, I know you have what's it called, when somebody gets started with a package, what's it called?
If they're coming in and if I through their examination need some corrective, I call it a corrective phase. That's where I want to see them a little bit more often.
Yeah,
frequently. Yeah, the frequency would be a little bit more, because the goal is, if I notice their posture and their structure is really off, the goal is really try to get in there and break all the habits and patterns that they've created, right? It's not just going to happen in one adjustment. I can tell them, hey, get your head carriage, this is where it's going to be. But what happens is the time outside of when I'm not seeing them, that's where the habits are going to be they're going to come back. So the goal is try to see them as frequent as possible to kind of change up their habits.
Yeah, it's like a personal trainer. Right. It's, hey, you may only see that trainer for an hour or two out of the week. It's the other 166 hours that they're not with a trainer that you get concerned about, right? Are you doing all the right things? Are you moving? Is this the only time you're moving? What are you eating? Are you eating enough? Are you eating too much?
Yeah.
Right. Are you drinking enough water? Right. I mean, those are all the things that you could not control. You could just encourage the behaviors.
Yeah, and especially when I see them frequently, I can notice what they're coming in when they're laying down on the table. Right. If I notice that they're needing the same adjustment all the time, okay, like I got to ask more questions about what they're doing at home. Are they listening to the recommendations? Right. I should see a different pattern in the adjustments when I see them that frequent. Like if we're just always doing the same, like, hey, either I didn't do a thorough exam, or the other side is, are they following my recommendations?
Ideally, is it a 2-time? Is it a 3-time?
Depends where they're at. If I notice that it's significantly off and we need some some big changes. I would recommend to see someone around three times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Got
Three
it.
times a week at the beginning. Again, the goal is breaking the patterns and then getting a structural change to their body.
How long does that take?
So the process, I like to do an examination within it. So the whole process can take 4 to 5 months to actually see any changes, right? The 3 times a week, it's not the whole 4 to 5 months. Usually 3 weeks, 4 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks of 3 times a week. Then I'll examine them again through the examination process to see what changes are happening.
Right.
If I see that they're improving, let's reduce it down. We're kind of tapering off each time. Go through that 2 times a week for the rest of their care plan. And then at the very end, assess them again. Right. Keep getting those objective measures, see how they're improving.
Now, when someone comes off of a care plan and they're like at least a decent baseline, how often is it hey, you go to a bi-weekly?
Yeah. Once a week,
whatever. Once
a week. Usually, typically when they go through that corrective phase, we want to make sure there's stability in the adjustment so that they don't revert back to their habits, right? So usually we go once a week after for about 6 months, anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on, how they're following our recommendations outside of the office.
Right.
So, and then from there, assess again. Right. See how they improved on our exam. Then we'll go every other week, then once a month, depending on how they improve. So it's hard to say exactly, oh, they're going to go through this, and this. Everyone's going to go through that. Everyone's going to be at a different level.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
All right. So switching gears. So chiropractic, that's product, right? As you're putting together the business, when did you sign the lease? Well, how many months ago was that?
It was March 17th.
You signed it.
I signed it.
So you're 3 months in.
3 months in.
So 3 months in, you go from looking, signing a lease, a couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments in between, kid's birthday party, some tattoo sessions. But through all that, you sign the lease, take possession, and you start building. Right now, you have a website. You got some equipment that's going to be delivered. You got, again, you pull up carpet, you put in some floors, you install some sound attenuation. Right? I mean, you're literally working through it. What have been some of the things that you've learned?
Man, there's a lot.
Let's go. What's the biggest learning? What was the biggest surprise of doing this?
You know what? The biggest surprise was the terminology and asking for all the things that I need.
Okay. Like what? Give me an example.
The first example are like, I need to get some signage on my windows.
Right.
I go to this, I forget the name, but it's called Citrograph. They do production of vinyl stickers and all this. They make shirts, everything, right? Everything for businesses.
Right.
And I just come in there. I'm like, hey, I just need stickers on my window.
Right.
So they're just giving me all these recommendations. Like, yeah, we got this acrylic sticker you can put on the inside or the outside. And I'm like, I don't know. Just tell me I'll go with whatever you recommend.
Right.
Right. So I go with what they recommend and I don't like it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So then I start working on like more specifics on what I like.
Right.
So that's been happening almost each time. That's with the stickers. I even got a banner. Right. Like, oh, the logo, like it needs to be in this font, this coloring, like things like that.
Yeah, color palette.
Yeah, exactly. Right. What other things as I look around here? Really, one of the other things is when the patients walk in, or if they are walking by, right? People are confused. Like, is it open? Is it not open? Like, It's like really having a direct message outside my window.
Right.
Right. That was the other part of having this process, because I was focusing on a lot of other stuff, right? Putting up the walls and building out my systems and speaking to, all these vendors about what I need for the office. So I created, someone was asking me, like, what are your office hours? Like, there's nothing on your website. There's nothing there. So if you notice, I put by appointment only on the door, which is going to come off pretty soon.
Sure.
When I'm done. But so I got that sticker, put that up. I have a QR code that directly links them to the how to book an appointment with me and have a consultation. So that has been the biggest struggle, is that flow, right? The lead flow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting, part of the business, right? Because it's like, you got a great product and you could have all the best equipment and the most knowledgeable thing, but it's like, man, if there's not people coming through here, it doesn't matter. Right. One thing when you're saying the stickers, and I wasn't 100% sure, one thing that I've learned is, you ever go to like a department store or like a store, and you see like a mannequin that's like well dressed, right? Or you ever go to like open up a menu and you see like the food picture, right? For me, I'm very visual, so I'll use that kind of stuff of like, oh, okay, yep, a blue jacket with brown pants is okay because a mannequin has it, right? Or like, being able to look at the menu and like, you know what, that looks good. I'm not sure what that is. Like, I'm pointing at the menu when I talk to the waitress, like, hey, how's that? Is that good? Okay, cool. I'm gonna get that. Yeah. Just because, again, for me, it's like I'm visual. So one thing I learned is, whenever I want to have something, like, literally I'll take screenshots and say, here's what I'm going after. We're talking about the new shirts. Yeah. Right? Your shirts are dope, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah. Shout out to Combat Corner.
Eric. Yes. Yeah. Undefeated. But literally, we were asking, or we were talking about the shirts. That's what I did. I literally took screenshots of this specific shirt fit that I wanted and sent it to him. I said, like, 2 or 3 screenshots. I'm like, hey, I want same exact thing on these shirts. Like, could you find me these shirts? And anyways, for me, it's just a lot more helpful for me to be able to, like, hey, put together like the actual visual or an actual sample of it, and say, hey, I want this with my logo. Yeah. Like, not this, but like the way that this is placed, or whatever the case is. So,
for sure. That's exactly what I did after I went through that process of their recommendations. Like I told them, like, I want what's on your window. Yeah. Like, not what you just gave me.
Yeah, I want yours. Exactly. I want yours.
It's like, oh, well, we don't make that, but I can recommend you to someone that does it. I'm like, why didn't you just, or why didn't I just tell them the one at the door, right?
For sure.
The other, dude, I forgot to mention also, like, I have shirts that I made, with my name and logo on there.
Like polo
like shirt? A polo, my work shirt. And man, I went through a company that made it, went through production, gave me my sample. I didn't like it either.
Ugh. Send it back.
So what I did, I was like, okay, did what you mentioned here. This is a shirt that I wear now. Make it look like this.
Yeah, this is what I want.
They're like, oh, that's embroidered. They basically just put a sticker on the shirt.
Oh, dude, that's so funny.
So yeah, that's that's the things that I'm learning right now, like all this terminology with stuff. It's so rookie, right? These are some rookie mistakes, but you get better each time, right?
Yeah. Dude, that's pretty funny. That is.
We could maybe, I was like telling them, like, yeah, just do whatever you need to do. Like, I wasn't specific enough for them, right? So I don't blame them. That's all on me. That's the mistakes I've learned. But
so, did I ever talk to you about performance management?
Yes, we have come.
Have we talked about performance management? So, whenever you're managing a team, regardless of what degree or expectation, there's this thing that I learned early on about performance management, right? So that's when you are, you have a specific project in mind, and I'm going to set some expectations to teach somebody to do it, right? So I don't do it myself, right? So somebody else can do it. So the way that it works in phases. The first phase in that is set expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime I would teach this performance management model, I'd always talk about you have to have crystal clear expectations. And because what happens is if you don't have crystal clear expectations, people are going to interpret whatever they believe they understand. Yeah. And then what happens is when you have to go to the next step, right? So first step is assess or set expectations. Second step is assess performance.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, when you're like, okay, I want this shirt, do what you got to do. I want my logo. Here's where I want it. And you get it. And you're like, oh, dang, this is what I wanted. Like you assess performance. You always have to go back to, okay, let me go back to this expectation of what I want and reset that, right? To make sure that it's super crystal clear. So that way, when you assess performance, if it's really good, now it's like, dude, high five, right?
Yeah.
Eric Walsh, undefeated, right? Comeback corner, right? Or it's like, oh man, things didn't go as planned. And part of that is, it goes both ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the service provider has to make sure that it's really, really clear. And then you as a consumer, you got to be real, real clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting about that is part of your operating the business, right? You're beginning to like understand, okay, hey, there's a leadership and there's a management,
Mm-hmm.
right? And part of that management is sometimes people think management around like people management. But when you start something like this, I mean, it's project management. Oh man, I got to work and coordinate all these people, right? I got to vendor manage, right? Yeah. I got to have financial management, right? I got to put all these different layers of management into play in order for this like project to come to life. But really it starts with like just understanding that performance management and just having a good grip on like, okay, am I crystal clear on what I want?
Yeah.
And then when I ask someone to execute, like, okay, hey, here's what I want. I want these number shirts. I want them to look like this. This is the thread I want. This is the material that I want, all these different things. So when you get, there's no surprises.
Yeah.
It's good learning.
You know, I really hated to set goals, you know, that's kind of the what you're trying to portray a little bit, right? It's like me, I just want to like, let's just get shit done.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah,
let's
just go.
And then we'll figure it out as we go. Kind of like with Chris Aguilar.
Sure.
You know, it's just like, that's kind of been my mindset.
Which I don't think is wrong. I don't think it's a wrong mindset, right? I think there's, you know, just, hey, you got to move forward.
Yeah.
You got to go and figure it out, right? I also do like planning, right? It's, you know, when you think of if you have whatever 5 hours, chop down a tree, spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe or whatever the case is. I think that's just as important, right? Kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the whole financial modeling, right? Is sometimes you just got to have a general understanding of like, okay, here's what I want to happen to the business. And here's what the financial plan or the financial outlook should look like. Because at the end of the day, all this is like, okay, hey, does it create enough income to support your lifestyle and family? Right. And your goals and your financial goals, right? Yeah. Through that, what you're delivering as a service, in this case, chiropractic. And are you doing it well enough that it's translating into, you know, positive cash flowing business, right? So part of that is, you got to take some time to kind of think through, hey, what does that look like? Okay, hey, how much revenue do I need to offset these expenses? And then I go backwards from there. Okay, I know how much revenue generally I'm trying to get to. Okay, well, how does that work in how many client packages, right? And then I go backwards again from there, right? What is like the most conservative, the most moderate, and the most aggressive, right, outlook, right? Just so you understand, hey, what's the worst thing that could happen if I'm going at this, right, in year 1 and year 2, year 3, whatever the case is. So yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky balance, right? Because you could overplan and then you could underplan too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Cool, man. How's your training been?
This week, it's not too bad. Actually, got a pretty good week of training this week.
Did you? I did.
I was super late to class though.
Oh, really?
Like 20 minutes late.
Hell yeah.
Like I got there after Rex.
Hell yeah. That's when you know it's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
He even said it himself. He's like, dude, you're coming after me. That's getting pretty bad.
That's pretty funny, dude. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, it was a good week of training. Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
I was on a roll, and then this week, started to feel a little under the weather.
Yeah.
So yeah, play it safe.
Right.
I'm not trying to get anybody else sick. So yeah, I only trained one time. Monday I trained, and then Wednesday, still not feeling too well. Then got on antibiotics, and I'm like, okay, now I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready to get back to it. Overall, I feel like training's been progressing. I haven't been able to cross train as much, just because I've been working on these projects, been keeping me occupied. I haven't been able to get out to Redondo, but it's all good.
Wait, do you still like strength train and lift weights?
No,
Throughout.
I should.
It's like straight no.
I should, but I don't. Yeah, I really should. And there was a point where I was working with my buddy Jake, AIM Fitness. Shout out to AIM Fitness, Costa Mesa. And he was doing some programming for me when I was dealing with all that stuff for my mom, and I would have to pass by his place to go to my mom's. Mm-hmm. So I was doing some strength training then for a little bit. And then when my whole schedule and everything got situated with my mom's situation, I haven't been able to make some time. I got to get back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things that it's kind of like chiropractic, I'm sure. Hey, there's tons of value. You really should. I just, I haven't spent as much time in the weight room.
Yeah.
You've been hitting it with Poylock, right?
Poylocks, yeah. Hey.
Coach PLC, dude.
Yeah. PLC. Coach Choi's been, shout out to Coach Choi. He gave me my second program. We're like on the second phase right now, nice. Which is good. I love the workouts. You just gave me some good pointers, but man, it's really kicking my ass.
Yeah.
My back started just being more sore lately.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to just be in guard.
Wow.
Because I'm just so sore from the workouts.
Yeah.
But they definitely been helping.
The posterior.
For sure. Oh, dude, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, man. A lot of that. Been working on my Turkish get-ups.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're Turkish get-upping me the other day. I was freaking super annoyed. So frustrating.
You know what? We didn't even talk about that I should do that in jiu-jitsu. It's just, we just wanted to build, my goal is just to build strength.
Yeah.
So I just thought this feels like a Turkish get-up position. So I'm just going to plant my foot here, plant my other foot here, and just extend and get up. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. It's literally, you jam that hand into my armpit. I'm like, dude, this is so annoying because where you put that hand placement, I can't turn into you to be able to break that grip on it. And it puts you into that position where I'm like, man, I have to. It was funny. I had talked to Mark about this. I don't know. It was probably 2-3 weeks ago because he was doing it to me. I'm like, dude, what the heck are you doing? Because Archie was doing that to me too. It's so annoying. But anyways, it has to do with when I get into this side control, where I put my hand position, because I always try to set up this one grip. Mm-hmm. But if I don't do it in time, it gives you a chance to be able to you create that frame underneath my armpit, and then you do that Turkish get up. So annoying, dude. So frustrating.
I'm afraid one of these days you're just gonna throw an arm lock. Just go for it.
Yeah, because we go backwards, right?
Right. Yeah, you just swing that leg through. I've seen that happen before. So I was like,
yeah,
I just want to see if he's gonna do it.
Yeah, for sure. So funny though. Yeah. Poylock, stop with the Turkish get ups, dude. Stop with that. Yeah, it's pretty funny. On a different note, when is the Craig Jones Invitational? What is that?
August.
Dude.
That same weekend for ADCC. It's
that
crazy.
That roster is
looking deep, man.
Yeah, it's getting deep.
I love it.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Who is did I see that? Mackenzie Dern and Fionn Davis?
Fionn Davis. That's gonna be legit. The other
super fight. Female super fight, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be super legit.
Yeah. It's getting I feel like he's got
pulled up.
He's got some more announcements.
Rutolos?
Rutolo brothers. Man. that plus 80 kilogram division.
Who's it? Andy Varela? Is it Andy Varela?
Andy Varela, he's the minus 80. He's
Yeah.
going to be the under, but I got my money on him.
To do the whole thing, you think?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's going to take it.
Who else is on that under 80? The
Rotolo brothers.
Rotolo brothers? Not both of them, right?
Both of them.
Oh,
They'll
really?
be on there.
Both
yeah.
of them are going to be on there?
Yep. They might fight. They might face each other.
The Hackett? Is it Hackett?
Oh, yeah. That's true. Dang.
And then you have who
good.
else?
Let me pull it up right here.
Is Nicky Rod?
Nicky Rod's the plus 80, but Nicky Ryan.
Nicky Ryan, and then J Rod, right, is on there as well, right? Nicky Rod's little brother.
I don't see him on here.
Is that the final roster? Let me see it.
Yeah. Plus 80 and the minus 80.
Dude, Victor Hugo. 6 blades. Let's go.
Dude, he won last night or on Thursday night.
Luke Rockhold. Man.
That'll be just fun to watch.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what's interesting about that tournament is that it's going to be a Friday, Saturday, and ADCC is a Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's going to just be 3 days of just jiu-jitsu in Vegas.
Man, that's crazy. Are you going?
Should we go?
I don't know. Is there?
I would love to just go and just see all the drama.
Yeah, I'll do. It'd be hilarious. Well, what's funny about this whole thing, right, is there's just like, because the internet has this jiu-jitsu pop culture thing where it's like literally the reality show of jiu-jitsu, right, is the B team, right, when they had the whole breakup, like that was kind of the start of like the drama. And then when they had their B team YouTube channel, like, okay, that started to do it. And then now Craig Jones comes over the top with this, talk about disruptor, right? Just literally being a disruptor, dude.
It's making the jiu-jitsu sport like blow up now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's bringing eyeballs. I mean, that's the whole goal.
Oh, yeah.
It's freaking hilarious. And
then the announcers, he just announced the announcers for the tournament. It's going to be so interesting. I'd love to just go see it.
Yeah. Have you looked up tickets? Rare tickets?
I haven't, but
look it up. Look it up now. Look it up
UNLV.
Now. Let's see.
Which is pretty dope. You know, they're gonna put in that pit too.
Yeah, I know.
That's gonna be so good.
It's literally comedy.
$50 to $500. It's not bad.
Oh, but
you can see it on YouTube for free.
That's true. That's true. Speaking of upcoming events, did you see Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal?
Yeah, they got a boxing match in July.
Yeah,
or like in next week.
It's in Anaheim.
Is it really?
It's in Anaheim, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty fun too.
I don't know. I got Nate Diaz on that one.
I mean, yeah, I would imagine that's the case, but we'll see.
Yeah, this Craig Jones, I've definitely been following it lately. It's hilarious.
It's engaging, dude.
Yeah, it's hilarious too at the same time, but I'm loving it.
Yeah. The the whole idea of there's a what do they call that, like a hero and a villain. And it's so funny how like that hero villain is like being played in this, like, oh, ADCC, they're the bad guys, they don't pay people, and hey, I'm the hero, I'm the good guy, right? And I'm gonna get athletes, this $1 million, right? And then the other flip side of it's like, the prestige that comes along with a CGI title versus an ADCC title, right? And just all of that, kind of storytelling, and it's pretty fascinating how that came up. So it's like, man, it's almost scripted,
right?
Yeah,
no, brilliant. The question is like,
it's pretty brilliant.
Is this a one-time thing? Right?
I mean, at some point, the thing has to make money.
I don't think he's making money this time around. He's not charging.
No, they're not charging, and they're just giving away whatever,
$1 million
for each category.
Right? Yeah, that's a lot.
Right. So call it 2 million.
Yeah.
You got another, whatever, 500, 750 in production, other incremental costs. So call it whatever, $3 million
Right.
just to promote athlete pay. Okay. That makes a lot of sense, but how do you sustain it?
Right.
Right. There's just
The
not
venue's got to be a lot.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's not just an endless pit of just
security.
Yeah, dude, the whole thing.
Man. If it keeps going, I mean, that's also the other thing. Is he going to have like trials and stuff?
Yeah.
Just like ADCC.
Yeah. Or it's just a one time.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's pretty epic.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Tons of props, dude. I mean, that is just big time. Just to be able to, it's one thing to be able to say, hey, I'm going to get into the tournament business. It's the whole thing where he's going to say, oh man, I'm not just going to go on the same weekend, but I'm going to take, some of the higher notarized athletes and take them from one roster to the next.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see
power move, dude?
On Thursday night at who's number one?
Gordon,
but also like Ken Rusing like interviewed like one of the athletes saying like, oh, you're going to be competing at ADCC, and you can clearly see him like it hasn't even been announced yet.
Oh, that is funny. I didn't see that. Yeah, I did watch a Gordon. I watched a couple of the other matches before, but I had it going on in the background. I wasn't like fully engaged. So who was the athlete?
I can't remember who it was, but she was, interviewing him.
That is freaking hilarious.
It was definitely one of the B team athletes. For sure.
That is so funny.
So it looks like his name is going to be announced pretty soon. Dude,
that is so wild, man. I wonder could you imagine what it's like being Mo from ADCC?
I've been following him on his Instagram live.
I mean, he's been composing himself. Yeah. He's been keeping it together. But could you imagine, like,
taking at those many athletes,
dude? It's like, what do you do? Like, how do you?
Well, he did say he's gonna kick his ass.
That's all different.
But I mean, that's tough, right? He's just like, who else?
Yeah, because now what happens is, okay, hey, what do? You pull up the people that actually didn't qualify.
Right.
You go to all the people that didn't win the trials, that didn't earn their spot, saying, hey, now you have a spot. I mean, I think that's it's a good thing to do, but does that still get the same prestige of like, yeah, right. I wasn't even supposed to compete, but I got pulled up, right?
Yeah.
We're like, what do you do? That's
you start throwing more trials out there.
Yeah, something. Dude.
But it also like you wonder why these athletes.
Yeah.
Is it just the money? Because some of them are saying it's not about the money.
Yeah.
So what's happening behind the scenes?
Yeah. I'm sure the money helps.
For sure. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. 10,000. What I like to is they did 10,000 at $1. Hey, the winner gets 10,000. Well, just to participate, you get 10,000 more. Right. That dude's fucking hilarious, dude. So funny.
You can't tell if this guy's trolling or.
Oh no, dude. He's a king.
It's so good though.
He's a king, dude.
Top it off, he's going against Gabby.
Dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, that is awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got? Let's see here. Dude, we're an hour in. All right. What else? What do we miss? So we got, when's the grand opening?
August. That's we're here. We are again, huh?
Yeah. First week of August.
Well, we're talking about like the grand opening and having an event here. And I've been thinking about it. Might have to push that till like September and October for like a huge grand opening. But August 5th, Monday, August 5th.
Full schedule.
I'll be here.
Got it. Got it. Website looks good. Website's coming together.
Yeah. Shout out to Joshua Hernandez who helped me out. He was an old friend of mine from undergrad.
Nice.
He's got his own marketing company. Can't remember, but he's got his own podcast too.
Oh,
yeah. Shout out to him for creating the website for me.
Yeah, looks good. I think also too, it's just like anything else, right? There's iterations as more and more people come up.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, what are your office hours? Say, what are this? What's that?
Yeah.
And I think just that just continues to evolve. So that's a good starting point.
Yeah. Always gonna improve, even when I feel like systems are in place. It's always gonna find a way to improve.
Yeah.
Right.
Day to day,
Mm-hmm.
day by day. So you got that. What else?
Really, it's been my focus lately.
Yeah.
I'd love to compete again.
Yeah.
If that happens spontaneously, I'll let Thomas know the day before.
Yeah. Nice. Sounds about right. Yeah. At some point probably should plan something
Right.
a little further in advance. All right. Well, cool, man. Anything else that we need to
No, man.
close the loop on?
I appreciate you coming by and visiting the office. I'm glad you were able to check it out.
Dude,
see what's so far completed.
Yeah.
There's still some more needs to be done. Yeah.
Yeah. Looks great.
Thanks, man.
Congrats. Good stuff, man.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. Dr. Archie Bayacal, Groundwork Chiropractic, Garden Grove, California. Bolsa Chica. So what's the address here?
Garden Grove. Valley View Street.
Valley View Street, sorry.
Yeah. 12752 on Valley View Street, Suite D, Garden Grove, California.
What's the website?
Groundworkchiropractic.com.
Boom. Get some. All right, everyone. See you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.